Shalom, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Shem Yahushua for giving us this truth. Double honor to all the elders teaching on the four corners of the earth, teaching in truth and sincerity. To you, I say shalom. Brother Khan from the Seventh Alliance of Judah, Jeshurun here in Chicago. To you, I say shalom. Coming at y'all with another one, and we're going to talk about the nuclear missiles are documented in the Bible, and they will be shot into the ends of the earth. 2nd Esdras 16 verse 13, and it reads, "For strong is his right hand that bendeth the bow, his arrows that he shooteth are sharp, and shall not miss when they begin to be shot into the ends of the world." Okay, so these type of arrows that it's speaking about are not the arrows that the Native American Indians used to shoot at the cowboys. All right, these will travel from one end of the earth to the other by thermonuclear missiles. All right, this is the video from Dabu 7, and it reads, "Nuclear EMP, how Americans can prepare for very real threat," expert says.
Electromagnetic pulse is generated when a small nuclear weapon, 40 to 60 kilotons, about 3 times the size of a Hiroshima bomb, is detonated 200 miles out in space above the United States. It sets up an electrostatic discharge. The technical term for that is Compton effect, which cascades electrostatic discharge, which cascades to the Earth's surface, feeds into the millions of miles of wires, which now become antenna, feeds this into the power grid, overloads the grid, and blows it out. Estimates are that 3 small weapons like this, eastern, central, western United States, would short off most of the electrical grid of the United States. The scary figure here, congressional reports in 2002, again in 2008, stated that 80 to 90% of Americans would be dead a year later. EMP, the threat of an EMP was fully realized in 1962 when the United States launched a missile into space to see what would happen if we blew it up. It's called Operation Prime Fish. Yeah, well, I'm not sure what the name is at the moment, but what happened was that blew about 500 miles away from Hawaii, 200 miles up. It shorted out a fair amount of the Hawaiian power grid. The Russians did the same thing a couple of months later in what's called Test 184. This was blowing out power grids 500 miles away from the point of detonation above.
And I'm going to stop it right here. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 7, because these nations are going to provoke World War III, and it's going to go into a nuclear war. And it's documented by Yahushua, and it reads Matthew 24, verse 7, "For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows." All right, so it starts out by saying, "For nation shall rise against nation." All right, so we see that. We see Russia and their nuclear weapons. We see North Korea and their nuclear weapons. We see the Arabs in the Middle East with their nuclear weapons, and we know that Babylon has nuclear weapons. So before the end comes, this must take place, where you see hate among different nations and upwards of the people.
Kazakhstan. So this is a very, very real threat. It's taken seriously. Like I've said, there's been congressional studies on this. And in 2020, President Trump started to move to study this more with DOD, DOE, and others. But unfortunately, that got derailed with the Biden administration. But just within the last couple of days, the Trump administration is again talking about what's called Iron Dome, which is the Israeli system, but in the United States, it would shoot down such missiles before they got over the territory of the United States. This is a very real threat.
But you know, the nations are in cahoots and are in bed with each other because they all want to bring the new world order, which means that throw out the system that they have now, which is order out of chaos, and come with a united worldly system. So they all know that they're gonna detonate the ICBM missiles to bring in the new world order. All right, because really they want a global reset. So it's working to perfection for their plan.
Scary to realize that almost all of our electricity is pumped on systems that are 30, even 40 years old. That's a report from DOE about 10 years ago.
And this all shows just how vulnerable we are here in America to something like this, a massive staged event. It seems like with all this money missing, that a huge event could happen at any time. And that it can be blamed on Russia or China or whoever at this point. I want to point out that he talks of Iron Dome shooting down missiles. Well, if they're coming down from space or satellites, space-based weaponry, you're going to have a hard time shooting those down. And no one yet has shot down or stopped Russia's brand new hypersonic missiles.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 9, verse 5, and it reads, "For every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. But this shall be with burning and fuel of fire," which is thermonuclear missiles.
So this is a very real threat on the table. Wanted to share this information. Join me on the live streams where I break this down even further. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a plan.
So yeah, man, like this stage of event will take place. We don't know when, but we know that through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, we are living in the time of the end, and there's gonna come a time where the other nations is gonna hate the beast, and the beast, Salakia, they're gonna hate the whore. Okay, they're gonna turn on the whore, and they're gonna shoot and burn her with fire, and that's in the book of Revelations, the 17th chapter. And if I may get it through the spirit, it tells you that the ten horns, man, they shall hate the whore. Revelation chapter 17, verse 16, and it reads, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast shall," Salakia. I'm gonna read that again. "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire." And that's nuclear weapons. Okay? So all these other nations, they're going to turn on Babylon, and they're going to shoot her with nuclear missiles. And that's what you see right now with this guy who's explaining the statistics of surviving a nuclear threat. All right. Revelation chapter 12. Salakia, let me see if that's what I want. Yeah, Revelation 13, verse 13, and it reads, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of man." So how do you make fire to come down? What you see right here. This is a clear-cut example how to make fire come down. You see this is what you call a thermonuclear weapon, which will turn into a mushroom cloud. So that's accurate, showing you that we're living in the book of Revelation. Let me get that again. Revelation chapter 13, verse 13. "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men." So when these nations test their nuclear weapons, they're getting ready for the last war that's going to end all wars, which is World War III, which is a thermonuclear a battle. All right. So all these things must take place, man. I'm gonna go back to Matthew chapter 24 because before the end can take place, it must be a nuclear war. This is Matthew chapter 24, verse 7, and it reads, "For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines," all right, which means lack of bread or food, and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. Okay, so the thermonuclear missiles are documented in the Bible, and they will be detonated. So with that, I hope this video is edifying through the spirit, power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. With that, Shalom.